All right, part two. We are getting this thing all wired up. We got our XLX2 in there. You can see we got the 4 screws on the bottom with some nice flat washers, double stick tape, perfect pass servo, Reese raw servo washers. It all fits in there good. You can see we can just snake through the wiring for the ESC and the servo. So what I was talking about was, we got a lot of stuff we got to put in here, right? So we got the castle link so that we can plug the laptop into it. Seems like this thing's way long. This is so you can plug your laptop into it. I'm just gonna have it pop out right here. So this thing's gonna get trimmed way back, new connector put on it. This is how much I took off of the ESC wiring. So you can see that plugs into right there. That would have been like this much longer. Have to wrap that up. So trim that down, put a new plug on it. I keep these a lot of time. I mean, I could have deep pinned this and reused this plastic piece, but I'm like, you can't reuse the pins because they're already crimped on. So what I've done is, you can get one of these kits. It's got JST connector, the Futaba style, regular style, male, female. It's got some wire. It's got all the connectors. And it comes with a crimper. It's a ratcheting style, so it'll ratchet down and crimp it perfect.
I'm in socks.
You're in socks? It was raining, bro. You're gonna be cold. So that way you can crimp them. They got all the connectors, everything. Crimp them on there. This kit was like, I don't know, 20 bucks or something off of Amazon. Cheapy, man, but it's like, it makes things so nice. So if you ever need to do connectors or any of that other stuff, it's all ready to go. So next up, we're gonna trim this one way down, put a new connector on it. It'll just squeak out of there. Then we don't have a whole ton of stuff we gotta jam inside there. So it'll be nice and tidy and not out of control. Bang! You can see that whole ESC receiver box tray set up in there. All fits super duper nice. Man, got the plug for the castle link. I shortened that, shorten the cable coming, out of here into there. So everything's nice and tidy inside. Really happy with that. Got the dual antenna set up. And I did, I used that hole right there. It's not drilled through. It's just blank. So you need to drill it through, but undersize it, and then you can just jam this tube in there. I mean, it's like, I have to force it in there. So comes out really, really nice. One thing, well, a couple things, 2, 3, I don't know, 5 on doing the ESC on with a limitless body. So one thing I found out, and it drives my OCD crazy, but if you look, the ESC is crooked, and you got to do it that way. I mean, I guess you don't have to, but if you want to be able to have this cable run through and there's an entrance on the receiver box right here, and you want to be able to snake it through there, you got to twist this thing. You got to have this all the way over here, right? Well, if you've got it slid all the way over and you want to keep it straight, the fan starts touching the body and it doesn't sit down. It won't sit all the way down. So the only way to do it is to twist it a little bit. So you still keep this all the way over. Gives you just enough space to get the cable through, because I like only having the castle link and the antenna coming out of this one. I want the ESC going in there. So, and the servo comes right off of there and goes in there as well. So I think that comes out really nice. You clock it just a little bit, and then you can still use your switch mount. This is a PPS. I believe the M2C carbon one is a little bit thinner, which might be helpful, but it also puts a switch right in the middle. Now, if you have this all the way over here, it kind of touches this metal piece right here, kind of touches the outside of the body a little bit. Right here, no interference whatsoever. So we're really, really good. Really happy. And one other piece is, you see that little guy right there, that nub sticking up? See, he's a little bit shorter than that guy, because you can see that ESC. If you've got it all the way over here in the corner, it gets pushed up just a little bit. So run a little bit shorter screw, like one grip length shorter, and then just sand it down. You can either use a sanding disc wheel, or you could, honestly, you could hit it with a razor blade and it'll trim right off. So do that, and then everything fits awesome. Really happy with the whole fit. Did some bullets on it. These are EC8 bullets, and the idea was, okay, I want to be able to take this car, and I have a set of Onyx batteries that are set up for the speed run truck, but they'll fit in here too. So I can just plug these direct, and those have QS8s on it. So I can plug these direct into those batteries, and I made a little loop piece so I can plug those direct. Or I made this. So this has the opposite end of the EC8 plug, and which I can take this, plug it into this end, and then I can run my standard, basher batteries or whatever I want. So I set it up to where I could do, both battery systems. Came out super clean, super happy with it. Man, this thing is coming along really, really well. I stole some parts from the speedrun truck. These are the hot racing diffuser mounts and wing stiffeners. These are aluminum. Man, it makes this whole wings way sturdy. Because like before, it would, you could move it and it would flex back and forth. So now, super, super tidy, firm. So I'm gonna have to get another set of these for the speedrun truck. No big deal. But man, this thing is coming along so good. I'm really happy with it. Then, perfect pass. We've got that ultimate drive shaft system. Carbon drive shafts, front and rear, titanium spool. This spool is so nice. I'll pull it out. It, center spool, the drive cups are super nice, fit in there well. They give you all these tiny space. I think these are a couple millimeter, 2 millimeter spacers, and then they have some thinner ones. So you can get your spool gear lined up exactly where you want it. So mine's pretty close to stock, I would say. Nothing too crazy. I'm running some Scorched gears. Their gears are super nice. I would equate them to like the Castle gears too. They're really nice. They're really well machined, well done. But man, this spool is super nice. These shafts are so cool. Front shaft uses that Trident style, like similar to what Scorched does too. And they give you they give you the front cup. They give you a new rear cup. Man, really, really high quality piece. So light too. So we got that all lined up, and as you can see over here, we decided we're gonna go with the Castle 2028 1100 kV. This is used. I found one. Got a smoking deal on it. So this is used XLX2, a used Castle motor. I had another Perfect Pass servo that I stole off another project. We bought some new stuff too. This thing was all in pieces. Had to assemble every single screw and nut and everything on this whole build. So this is a full ground up build. Loving it. And next up, we are going to modify the front shocks. We've got the Perfect Pass springs on there, but we need to lower the front of the car. A lot of people will just use the droop screws. I am not a fan of that at all. I think it puts way too much pressure on the lower arm, and it ends up flexing and it ends up bending over time. If you look at like bashers and stuff like that, when they come down and hit and all that other stuff, if you look at their lower arms and stuff, they tend to bend after a while. So I am going to actually limit the travel inside. This is not my idea. We can all thank James McCoy for this one. So these are some 832 nylon flat washers from DeBro. They are, I think, 2.4 millimeter thick. So I'm going to put one of these washers in each shock. So I've got to pull the shock apart. put the limiter in there. That way it'll limit the actual, full travel up. Because this thing's, and I'll be able to reset the spring. So it should lower it pretty good. We'll see if it's not low enough. We can add 2 of those. But I think one will lower it up to, I think it's almost 10 millimeter. So that should be good. We got the rear all jacked up, super stiff. Man, loving it. So we're gonna do that next. We did also do the diffs. So the front has 500K, the rear has 200K. So if you guys want, a really good setup video, go check out James McCoy. He's got the fastest RC car in the world. He's doing something right. All his setup stuff may not be exactly what works for everybody, but it works for him. It's a good starting point. So I use a lot of his setup points too, and also Raj Schifrin. Perfect pass, makes great stuff. So they both have put out some good videos on YouTube about setup and build and stuff like that. So if you're here and watching this, you've probably already seen them before. So, but yeah, go check out some of their build. James has done some really good stuff with, giving out a lot of setup info, which I think helps everybody out. If you have a good starting point, then you're hopefully not gonna crash cars and do everything else. You can at least get a good setup point and start learning and progressing from there. So, shocks up next, and then, once we get the shocks done, then I think we're gonna get the motor in. We're gonna power this thing up, see what it does, and maybe take it out for a, quick break-in. So we'll see. Gearing's super, super, super conservative on this thing right now. So it will probably not be super fast at all. But I just want to make sure that, we'll try it and make sure that it all functions and everything works and it doesn't fall apart. So, because I put it together, you never know. I'm the king ding dong, man. So, all right, shocks up next. So like I said, it's shock time. This one's already done. We just need to, I got it filled back up. I poured the fluid into a little cup. Got most of it there, maybe 80% full. And they use 2000 CST. You can definitely go a lot lighter since we're running such a stiff spring and stuff. But I keep the 2000 and get it, I don't know, it comes back maybe 60% full. And then I have some 1000 that I add to it. And should be plenty good. So 1000s when you start to get into diff oils. So but a lot of times they use 2000 in drag racing and all that other stuff. So I do have some. I had some somewhere and I can't find it. So here's that spacer. All right, so we're gonna take that spacer and pull the shock out. We'll pull the shaft out, right? And just put the spacer underneath the piston and slap it back in. So I'll show you. Just what did I say? See if there's any more. Save as much as I can. Right. And then come on out, buddy. There we go. So I do that. Take the shin. Put it back on there. And then I've got some Protect grease so I don't hurt the seals. Throw some on the threads. Could have done that before I took it out too. But put some on there. And put it back in. That's it. Now you fill it back up with fluid. With your shock oil. So we'll fill back up with shock oil just like you would any other shock now. And what it's doing is it's shortening the shaft that's coming out. You got you're basically having a shorter shaft inside there. Piston's not going to travel down as far, so you're not going to be able to travel down. You have such a stiff spring anyways that this thing's almost at, you know, max droop, you know, really on the suspension, so you don't have a whole lot of up travel anyway. So pretty cool. We'll slap this back together and we'll show you the finished product. Ready, bang! It's done. It is missing a wheel though. Okay, so I missed some of the video somehow and I can't find it. I'm bummed. But as you can see, and we'll get up close, we got a few little changes, and we'll unveil the color. You can already kind of see it. So we did a pearl white. What I did was I used some the Tamiya pearl white and then backed it in the bright white. So out in the sun, it looks pretty cool. Go over here, we'll look. Got the body right there. Didn't do a whole lot of stickers and any of that stuff. Kept it kind of simple. Looks really nice, I think. Nice and shiny. Came out good. Simple, but I think it looks really good on the car. So we'll get it on there and show you that too. But big change. You know, we had initially thought about going with the 1717, 1650, and the MMX 8S. Well, we went with the XLX2. And I was thinking, oh, I'll put the 1100 kV motor in here. But this is our drag. This is the drag build. I don't want to speed run it. May eventually someday, but we'll see. This thing, I want to do a drag. This is going to be our drag car because that guy down there, once he's all together, that's going to be the speed run, right? And I want to do it with that infraction body. So this drag, full drag. And I've never done any of that stuff, so I'm trying to learn, right? So if you look, we got a TP, never used a TP power motor. So I'm like, hey, I'm gonna try it. Never done it before, never used them. This TP 4070 CM, 2200 kV. It is nice. They are really nice. So did the bullets on it, and then used 7 gauge wire on it, and everything else is pretty much the same that we had gone through already. So I went and took it out for a quick hit to try to test it, make sure everything was functioning and stuff. And I initially did it on 4S. Can't find that stuff. It did pretty good. And then I hooked up the other 4S battery. They're just, the Ovonic Basher batteries, nothing special. And as you can see, this is what I had to do to glue it back together. But it just blew this tire. I mean, right off the hit the throttle, bang! I mean, it was like a explosion, and it blew the tire off the bead. So I was like, I'll change some of the programming and stuff. There's no punch in this thing so this one, the castles are a little different. You put it on 100% on the punch level, it basically limits it by 100%. So it doesn't actually add any punch at 100%. 0% means it's got full punch. It'll like ramp it all the way up. So put it at 100%. I'm like, you know what? I'll go take it out, see what it does. And literally right off the hit, same thing. I mean, this is a brand new tire. I put a whole set of brand new tires on, and it's same left side. I mean, it blew it off immediately. I mean, this thing, the wheel speed was insane. You hit it's just up in smoke, but it's driving this left side crazy. So, I was running 500K. I'm running 500K in the front, spool, 200K in the rear. It's much more of a speed run setup. So what I think is happening is just blowing the power through that diff and over driving the left side. So I could either go, people pretty much lock these out, I think, drag wise. So I think I'm going to keep the 500K up front, see how that does. And then I think what I'm going to do is, I could put like 1 million in the back, but I think I'm just going to do a scorched locker. So we're going to get a scorched locker hooked up for this thing, ordered up. And then we're going to go take it out for another hit, and then we'll see what it does. Because this thing right now, like on 4S, it didn't do that, right? But it was still driving this left side tire. You could tell the car was starting to drift, right? So I was going to try to adjust it in the suspension, but I'm like, you know what, let's see what it does on 8S. I just want to see what it's like. And man, I mean, it literally just smokes a tire. The wheel speed's insane. So yeah, so we're going to do a locker in the back. We'll get a scorched locker ordered up for the back. I think I'm going to keep the 500K in the front, see how it goes. May end up having to go thicker, and may end up having, I think a lot of the drag guys go with lockers front and rear. I know for sure a lot of them go in a locker in the rear. So we're going to do a really nice one, get it all hooked up. But everything else functioned good. Everything was doing really, really good. So I was really happy about that. So we'll get that locker. We'll show you what that looks like, get it in there. And then I'm going to make sure I don't lose anything. And we're going to get, we'll get a nice test hit. And we're doing it on the Hoons, because the Hoons should show us how this thing's going to really overreact. You know, instead of putting a GRP or a foam on there, I really want to see how the suspension is like. It's not going to have as much grip, right? So if it's starting to, you know, if it's starting to fishtail one side or the other, I can adjust the rear shocks and stuff like that. So I loosened up the fronts and the rears so that they have a little bit more movement. Still, you know, it's still pretty stiff. You know what you want some stiffness, but on a drag car, I need it to be able to kind of move in that 132 feet. So, and you never know. Depending on how it goes, I thought, you know, I may keep the perfect pack springs in the front because I feel like they might be pretty good. I might go back to the V2 Limitless spring in the back and do a wheelie bar. So we'll see. I don't know. There's a lot of different things out there. I'm like, I think knowing like real life drag suspension, I think it'll be similar in some respects because, you know, weight transfer and getting on the tire and stuff like that. So I'm gonna try to use some of my knowledge from that. So, but yeah, this is what happens when you blow a tire off there and then you got to glue it back together. Hold it together with a bunch of zip ties. This will now be an infraction basher tire. And I guess this one will be too. The problem is they're both the same side. So, yeah, now I got to figure out what to do. I need one more new tire. I think I have one more set. These were the Hoons, the golds were on sale. Like, I think it was like, what was it? I think they were like $15 for a pair. So I'm going to go look because I might see if I can get maybe another set or two because they're good for testing, and then I can throw them on our infraction, you know, down underneath there, and because he's just a basher. I mean, he's fast, but he's just a basher. So stay tuned. We're going to get that diff locker. Man, so I don't know if you can see it, but we finally got the diff locker. I wanted to get a scorched one, but I have not been able, I mean, they've been out of stock for a while. Couldn't get my hands on one. So did a lot of research. We picked up an Arrma RC diff locker, very similar. It's got a titanium through shaft. What else? Titanium through shaft, nice bearings, you know, steel hardened cups, aluminum center section. Looks very similar to how the scorched one goes together. So I think it'll be good. It looks very nice so far. We'll pull it out of the package. I'm gonna mock it all up, and I'll show you what that looks like next for this Limitless setup. And so I figured I'd show you all the individual parts. You know, the way the diff lockers work, you're supposed to, you could reuse your main diff gear, or I just decided, and a lot of other people do too, I was gonna buy a brand new one, right? That way I can just pull the diff out, and if I ever want to reuse the diff, it's ready to go. That way I can swap back and forth if I ever decide to, and this thing's set up and ready to go. So looking at this diff locker, Man, that looks cool. I don't know if you can see it, but it says Ironman RC on there. It looks like a nice titanium shaft. You know, well machined. Looks good. Comes with the screws, set screws. The hardened cups look pretty good. They look very similar design to like a scorched type setup. You know, not as nice, but pretty cool. The bearings they have a rubber seal on one side, metal shield on the other side. I'm gonna assume the rubber shield goes towards the outside, better dust. In the inner metal shield, it can get some grease, stay lubricated. Then the diff locker looks super nice, well machined. Reminds me, it looks very similar to like the scorched one. The only thing I'm not a huge fan of are the set screws being stainless. I've never had good luck, especially like when you're doing stuff with stainless set screws that need to be really tight, using Loctite, all that other stuff. So I'm going to swap those over to standard high strength steel ones. They are nice though, because they are flat bottom. You know, they're a nice set screw. I just wouldn't, personally, I wouldn't use them in this application because I'm going to use red Loctite on them, all that other stuff. If I ever need to pull it apart, you know, I don't want to deal with the stainless. So I have every time if I make an order from Scorched, I usually end up buying some of their, like one package of their 4 and 5 mil set screws, so I have them. I mean, I have other ones that are flat bottom too, but the Scorched ones are usually pretty nice. So I have some of those. So we're gonna swap those over to the Scorched set screws. So we'll get this all mocked up, see what it looks like, and then I'll show you that, and then we're gonna get in the car and see what kind of a change it makes. Man, this thing came out nice. Bang! So yeah, everything fits really good. I mean, it's nice tight tolerances. Was really happy with it. Man, it comes with some nice hybrid ceramic bearings, all that stuff. So cups look good, everything looked good. So like I said, the only thing I swapped out was the set screws. I went with the Scorched set screws that I had on there. Same on the cups too. I did notice there were a couple little like burrs, like, you know, where the threads come through. So I hit it with my file first. You can see my little marks, but cleaned everything up. I, you know, hit everything with brake clean, you know, clean everything, all the screws, set screws, you know, the gear, the housing, everything gets cleaned first. Loctite it, put it all together. The only thing I haven't Loctited are the set screws on the cups, because, you know, there's a slight little play right there, right? Just like stock, you know, on the bearing, you can slide it back and forth, up and down. In case we need to put a little shim in there, and we'll put it in the dip in the housing. So we'll check that out, and we'll go from there. So next up, we'll just probably slam this thing in the housing, and we'll get this thing out for a quick test run and see what it does. Bang! Check it out. That thing fits in there good. So put the drive cups on, and you know, I mocked it up first. There's no play in there. It's pretty tight. All feels good. I mean, there is backlash, you know, which is what you want. Put a couple O-rings in there like I had before, so everything still articulates, but the shafts don't move around. I've got O-rings on both sides to, you know, take up the slack. So I hit the cups with Loctite, put it all in. One thing I did notice, you know, this thing is tight to get in there, and normally you've got your screws right there, here and here to mount the actual shock tower. You got these two, and then you got the uppers. So in order to get this thing in, you got to pull those two out, because they always kind of interfere with the drive cups, and since you can't rotate them, you know, everything's locked down. These are a little bit larger diameter out here, you know, and you just don't have much room. So take those two screws out, everything falls in there good, you know, move your shocks up like normal. Yeah, man, fits in there good. I'm really happy with it. I'm gonna grease it up, and we'll slap the cover back on, wheels back on, and we'll go take this thing out for a test it. We'll get the back half and wing on and all that stuff too. So testing coming up next. Oh man, I love this drag car. Let's see what we can do. Like I said, I lost some of the other video, but we got that Arrma RC rear diff locker, basically a spool, right? So that's all in. I mean, listen to that thing. We've got, we're gonna go test this out. I'm gonna test it on these hoons first because I don't want to destroy. I've got a set of GRPs that I thought I'd try to put on it too. I want to do it on rubber tires at first. We may go to foams. I just want to see what this thing is gonna do, test it out. We're gonna run it on 6S. I think I'm gonna end up leaving it on 6S because I think this thing is pretty gnarly. But we've got twin SMCs. These are 4,000 milliamp 3S. These are the SRD V3s. Speed run drag batteries. So these are a nice battery. We're running QS8s on them. They got 8 gauge. So I got those just all fired up, ready to go. Running bolt connectors everywhere. So I'm gonna put my loop connector in. Got the radio link on. We'll throw the body on. And probably gonna put you on a short tripod. I don't think I have any help. The kids are all out there goofing around, having a good time. So I think I'm gonna do this by myself. We're gonna try the tripod down low, see if we can we're just gonna do some good launches, not full passes or anything. See how this thing does. So stay tuned. We got this thing fired up. Seems spicy. Seems spicy. Alright, I think our remote's getting a little low on power. Let's see if we can do this. See what it. All right, let's do a quick launch. Whoa. Well, it smokes the tires. Voltage low on the transmission. So let's see, let's try this one more time. I might roll into it this time. Oh man, it is everywhere. Let's do one more hit. That thing is awesome, but I definitely think it needs way more traction.
Oh, the tires are hot.
Yeah, they're really hot.
Wait, I'm gonna wait.
Man. So yeah, that thing is on fire. Those tires are on fire. What should we do? I think we'll try the GRPs, but I have a feeling we might need to do the spool in the front too. So we'll see. I think let's try a little bit better tires. See what we can do. That was 6S. When it rolled in, it was better, but we'll try it again. Oh man, you saw that. That thing was a little out of control. I ended up doing another pass and kaboom. I wish I would have caught that on video. But yeah, I played with the gyro. I was like, I'll play with the gyro. I had it all turned down. It went a little bit straighter, so I'll probably play with that a little bit too. But I have a feeling it's just overpowering. I mean, everything. It's driving a lot of power to the rear. So I think, and obviously, right rear is getting a lot of drive. I mean, feels like, you look at these tires, they're both wearing a little more evenly, but they ballooned a lot. I think that's what happened, ballooned. The fronts look like they wore a little bit more on the right side than the left. They're fairly even. But you can feel it like ballooning in spots. I mean, it is just It ballooned here, right? Ballooned there. I need to turn the brakes up a little bit too, I noticed. So we'll do brakes up. I have a feeling, I think I'm just gonna get another locker for the front. A lot of people on speed runs and drag, they just run, they lock everything out, you know. So I think that's what we'll do. We'll get everything driving equally. It'll help things go straighter, especially when you're nailing it right off a hit. You need the power to be fairly even on both sides to keep it straight, right? So I think we're gonna get one more locker. We're gonna keep working on this thing, and we're gonna do another video. We'll get another locker in here. We'll test it out again on 6S. This thing's a beast on 6S, it looks like. It's just smoking the tires. So I think we definitely got to do the locker up front, and then we'll get the GRPs on it, see how it does. Then I have a feeling we're gonna have to go to foams. I think we're gonna have to go to foams with some sticky stuff. So anybody who's been down this road with the a drag build like this, love to hear your comments. If you want to spill the beans on any info, I'm down. You know, I'm trying to learn. So motor is pretty hot, so I got to remember probably only do maybe 2 hits, let it cool down. You know, 2 hits on this thing I think needs to cool down. So that motor's, I mean, I'm able to touch my hand on it, but I don't want to leave it on there for forever. I mean, it started like that, was starting to hurt. So all right, comment, like, subscribe. We'll catch you on the next one.